These are the lying liars who lied when they said they loved you. A fictionalized, semi-autobiographical novel and podcast from Very Floor. Names and places have been changed to protect anyone who might be innocent. But nobody is reliable, including me. Everybody lies, eventually. These are the lies I told myself, and the lies I was told by the lying liars who knocked on my door and said that loved me. These are the lying liars that lied when they said they loved you. A fictionalized, semi-autobiographical podcast and upcoming novel from Very Floor. These are the lies I told myself, and the lies I was told by the lying liars who knocked on my door and said that they loved me. Subscribe, follow, like, leave a comment to keep up. More lies ahead.
This morning it's clean, I thought. The studio, my whole place, was clean. I walked down the 2 steps to the bedroom and chill half of my apartment from the upper office half, where I had been working since early that morning. It was just past sunrise and I batted my eyes at the unexpected sight. The semi-attached, dual-level studio was a well-lived living room, dining room, kitchen, bedroom combo where I often served as host to an unusual band of ne'er-do-wells and rapscallions I called my friends. It usually bore the signs of transience. Piles of maybe or maybe not clean clothes, various assorted half-full cups, an unmade bed, and a rumpled couch. I had gotten used to a somewhat lived-in feeling, but I walked down the stairs that morning where I more frequently hosted my people, and it was different this time. It was clean. I took a step and looked around and wondered what blessed bachelor pad universe I'd stepped from and into where my pad was so immaculate. I'd been upstairs 2 hours or thereabouts, and the socks were tied nearly in matching pairs and assorted by colors. The shirts were folded properly in precise stacks next to a boxy and immaculate pile of pants, and my jeans and slacks next to that on hangers. Next, my underwear was folded and stacked neatly. My overnight guest, it had been his 3rd overnight in a row actually, had swept around the spot on the couch where he had sat and worked on my laptop. There were no traces of breakfast crumbs on the table or couch where I had left him to work on his personal affairs. I monitored my laptop use from my desktop, pulled up the browser history with the account logged in and the router data. I put it behind my work on my desktop, set a few alarms, and let it passively provide a real-time scrolling list of his activity. He was applying to jobs. Sometimes people impress you, I thought. It was better than finding him flossing in a locked bathroom rather than laying out lines or shooting up. Donnie, my overnight guest's name was Donnie, returned my laptop a few minutes before I was ready to head back to my desk in the office. I had told him to stay in sight while he used it. He did, and I had gotten into a rhythm at work. With the router alarm set and him in my periphery, I relaxed with him suddenly. I was ashamed of my own history of toxic relationships because this is how it should be, I realized. You have to trust your partner. "I'm all done," he said cheerfully, placing the laptop down with a properly coiled power cord set on top. "I have a job interview at McDonald's today out on the west side. I could take the bus, but I was hoping you would be willing to take me. You can just drop me off. I can make it back on my own." He wasn't begging. It was all matter of fact. And thanks for letting me use that. See, dummy, I thought to myself, there is life on this planet. How long and when? I added an incredulous cadence to appear more in tune with the world-weary, experienced but hopeful persona I was projecting for his stay. "And how'd you get an interview? It's 8:30 in the morning and you just applied." He shrugged and separated his hands. "I don't know. Probably 15 minutes, 2 p.m. Automatic scheduling system online. I guess they figure if you can fill out an application, you have all the skills necessary to put the fries in the bag." He chuckled. An actual chuckle. "I may not get the job since I applied on a laptop. They may mark me as overqualified." I smiled. "It is McDonald's. You're probably right. Why'd you apply there? I thought you wanted—" I trailed off, suddenly aware that we hadn't talked about his dream job. He had been focused on stabilizing and paying his way today, so he hadn't talked about the future. I had talked a lot about myself, though. Great. I probably look self-centered. He's got all this going on, and I'm just depressed. Never be too proud to work an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. He pointed to my lack of cigarettes. I have to go to the store to get a pack and some milk or something. All you got is soda. But you mind if I snag one for the walk? He opened his other palm and smiled. I even found my lighter. I picked up the pack and handed him two. Here, I'll give you two if you smoke one right now outside while you wait 5 minutes for me to finish, and I'll go with you. My house. My milk. He nodded gracefully toward me and kissed the top of my head. Yeah, but I'm getting chocolate milk. Don't be surprised when I don't share. Fair warning, I'll be outside. Oh, and I left you a surprise downstairs. He grabbed his coat off the door handle and hat off the table as he skip dance bopped his way down the steps into the studio and to the left, out of sight. The creaky door took a moment longer than I expected for it to open or close. My heart leaped in that moment, screaming, "Something's up!" I breathed through the fear. Too many traumas and too much broken trust from too many people. He put his coat on, I corrected myself. Or he grabbed a banana. Or he scratched his butt. The fuck is wrong with me? It was literally a beat longer than you would expect. Literally a beat. He could have checked himself in the fucking mirror, you lunatic. You are not broken, I keep saying to myself. Everything was bad, and not all people do bad things to people they say they love. Don't bring others in with him. I tabbed out of my project, put my away message up on my company's chat server, and walked down the steps into the studio. When the fuck did he clean? I said aloud, too stunned to move. The place was clean and my underwear was folded. Of course, the past 10 or so hours had not been as easy as the morning suggested. Night 3. I know I'm not supposed to complain about how I didn't get laid. That's manipulative. And I'm not supposed to tell other people bedroom issues. That's indiscreet. And I especially should keep business to myself because people, well, they don't find me attractive. Hey, what are you doing? Donnie asked from the bed. I'm folding my goddamn laundry, I thought. What the fuck does it look like? Instead, I sang my response. Oh, nothing, dear. I threw his boxers into a pile on the couch. I didn't do his laundry. I was doing mine, and his came along for the ride. Babe, what are you doing? I resisted the urge to sigh. I will not sigh. It makes me look bitchy. Instead, I let my hands rest on my lap, full of dish rags and socks, and looked at him. Donnie was reclining in my bed, pants and belt undone, and fully aroused and exposed. I had been waiting for him to make a move. I wanted to see if he would come to me as I had come to him before, full of desire and need and excitement. Slut, my brain kicked. You acted like a slut, but I want him to make a move so I know for sure. I fought back meekly, demurely, like a good, pathetic. Look at him. This is a move. Babe, he whined again. What are you doing? Don't call me babe, I told you. I didn't tell him. It was a trauma dump. The boy doesn't need any more of your drama. Just chill out, babe. I didn't mean anything by it. He rolled onto his side, propping his head up with an arm, affecting the chill bro pose perfectly except for the pecker display. You're always running around. You could just, I don't know, lay back. You work so hard. Cock tease. Why won't he say? Did you wait before? But we were, no. You wanted it that badly. I tried to inhale red and exhale blue, but the tension remained. I'm sure my smile seemed tight and artificial as I resumed shoving cloth into drawers randomly, no longer caring where anything went. Someone's got to. Someone will. He reached for the bowl. Weed outside. The landlord. He looked crestfallen. Your landlord's gone for a week. It'll air out by then. Can't I just enjoy the vibe? I closed a drawer harder than I meant. Weed, outside. Why am I being like this? I tried to soften, but I heard the ice still in my voice. Look, I wasn't always like this. It's just these guys. He let out a sigh and started shifting to the far end of the bed, tucking his pecker away and buttoning before he stood. Come on, you want it. He wants it. You're losing him. Don't lose him. He's already dressed and I want him to be comfortable. Laughter exploded in my head that sounded like someone else. The accusations and tone were achingly, painfully, disastrously familiar. Babe, we all got ex drama. I got a baby mama who won't let me see my son. You got to learn to get over it. He came to kiss me on the head, but I recoiled when he touched me. I'll go smoke this outside. Babe, we need to get you on some better drugs. Want to smoke? Donnie didn't wait for me to answer as he half swaggered out of the room. I'd already reviewed the weed morass, and he was unimpressed with that as well. Why is he still here? I tried to stop myself from saying it, but I couldn't. With me? This morning I bopped around the clean room for a moment longer, making noise so he knew outside that I would be on my way shortly, in case he was. What else would he be doing? On his phone, finding a less broken slut to actually fuck. Men don't stay for blowjobs, else you'd have a harem in here, and not just him. Shut up. Saying it even to myself felt powerful. Shut up, I said aloud, liking the taste on my tongue. My brain went silent, and I stopped rearranging the knickknacks on my dresser. Babe, I said loudly toward the door. I'm coming out. Let me grab my shit and we can go. I looked around the clean room for my bag. It wasn't on the hook by the door where I left it. Did he? I heard cackling in my head. No, I had my cigarettes in the office, I said to myself, to Donnie outside, to the ghost of men living with that me in my head. I concluded confidently, I must have taken my bag into the office. Despite the crescendo, I was met with the silence of an empty studio and the low ambient hum of a window unit long since past its prime. Scuffling outside startled me. Raccoons, I thought half-heartedly at first, and then with sudden relief, the tension unspooling rapidly in my upper chest. No, Donnie, he's waiting. I am such an idiot. The bag was not in the office. Night 2. Babe, I'm back. I heard the door open and close. Did I leave that unlocked? I was in full flagrante, dick in hand, and porno on the computer screen when he rounded the corner into the office. I hurriedly went to cover myself. No, you're good, it's your house. He looked sheepish. I screwed my courage to the sticking place. Well, don't just stand there looking like you don't know what a dick is. Let's get those pants off. I thrust myself off the computer chair toward him. I burned for him suddenly. All the pretty boys on my computer screen couldn't compare to this lovable, dim-witted, oh-so-kind and gentle, actually hot boy. And he came back. Donnie gets me. He recognized the fear when he left. He came back for me, and I was descending on him, pushing him back down the 2 steps into the studio and kissing him firmly on the mouth, open and with tongue. After a moment of, I guess, surprise, he's kissing me back. He came back and is kissing me again. I pushed him into an expected position, and Donnie said he'd wanted to get some all day, but hadn't been able to find anyone. It's all I could think about all day was a warm, wet, "Shut up, Daddy," I spat it out playfully. You know you need the best. His response came in a non-committal sound, followed by a series of now familiar sounds. And we were done, and he was dozing, still almost completely dressed, and I still had my pants awkwardly around my thighs. Should I cuddle with him, I thought, regretting his initial arm in the place for my head on his chest. I brushed it off. When Tommy would come to my bed to cuddle, him naked, me fully dressed, I wasn't allowed to go below the belt. Tommy was an aggressive, erect sleeping cuddler that pinned me to the mattress, but refused any further action, even as his hardness would grind against my thigh as he slept. Tommy was not sexual. Tommy was not gay. Tommy cared about me but didn't care for the way I looked. The way I looked made him asexual. I respected Tommy because he cared about me, and I should learn not to be obsessed with sex, even after 2 years without it. Tommy impregnated a girl in that 2 years. He also paid for his life, his addiction, by selling his ass on the street, I discovered much later. Tommy would leave here having denied me any affections, after having kept myself here for his needs to the point of agoraphobia and get picked up on the way home. Even in the restroom of a fast food restaurant up the street, he later admitted, with someone he met on a dating app while using my phone. Tommy was gone. Donnie was here. Donnie liked me. He came back. Donnie, for whom I was having an existential crisis over cuddling, might be a little broken, but he came back for me, and I could touch him. I can cuddle him, I thought triumphantly. I leaned back on the bed next to him, close enough to feel heat but not to touch and wake him. A wash of glee filled me. I reached down and replayed his words in my head and agreed. It is my house. I can handle business on my own, thanks. Whoa there, don't start round two without the main event. Donnie rolled lazily to one side, half pinning my arm to my side so it was useless for the task at hand. You're ready to go again? He didn't respond. His eyes were closed and his breathing easy and unhurried. Contented. I used the other hand to stroke the arm and bicep that was thrown over me. Donnie was easily a looker, on a really good day, and if the stars were aligned and I took all my pills and I was in a tux at a happy event where everyone glowed up, I was acceptable to slightly above. My almost fiancé said I was handsome, but you had to say that about your almost anything. But Donnie was better looking than even the almost fiancé, certainly better looking than me. Tommy said I was a 3 and lucky to be with him. I'm glad honesty is your best quality, he said once, so I can be honest about how I feel about the way you look. Don't go broke. Nobody will love you for your face. Well, Mr. Crazy Tommy, look at me now. I bagged and ate, and he came back for more. Did you get any sleep today? He mumbled, and he's asking about my day. So there. A few hours. I can't sleep with others in the house. Donnie had left without a further word as the sun had risen. He said he understood and walked out that morning. The whole day I was sure he was gone forever, but my guy came by today and I got us a little present. Donnie's eyes shot open. Dope? You got more dope? He jumped out of bed suddenly, nearly collapsing when he tangled himself in his own shorts still on his body. Oh, I need a hit so bad. Where's it at? I laughed uncomfortably. Yeah, let me just, go get it. I pulled up my pants. So much for round 2. I went into the kitchen to my fag bag hanging on the hook by the door and pulled out a tightly wrapped baggie. Ta-da! I even waited for you so we could open it together. He snatched it from my hands and carried it close to him back to the couch, where he pulled a dirty pipe and a beat-up Bic from somewhere. Were those in my couch? Loaded it and was inhaling and cloudy within moments. I looked around the room considering the scene. I hadn't cleaned today and the place looked like a pit. Dope on board, it would get worse. I should at least do the laundry or something. I grabbed the basket on the way back to sit on the edge of the bed. Hey, I'm gonna throw some of my shit in with yours. He took another long hit. And my mom said you could call her and she would send us some dollars for pizza. But I don't have any of those apps, you know. I figured you did. His mother sent us $20 for pizza. Thanks to his breadsticks and soda, it was still $15 short, which I had to cover. I guess we'll make my cigarette pack last. He doesn't really smoke, so I can just do with less. Round 2 came hours later, to my insistence through his speed-fed mist. He was less engaged and faster than before. Thankfully, he slept after. I didn't. He woke up promising a round 3 as the sun was rising. I waited all day for round 3. He just kept promising until the day turned back into night. They say you can't smell dope when you smoke it. This morning, but you definitely can if you've used ever, or like Donnie, grew up with it in the house. My father will be back today. He texted late last night. My brother had invited him to spend the long weekend with him and his wife and kids, my nephews, and had forgotten or decided not to extend the invite. Diarrhea. I'm out, my father had written in his normal tone of displeasure at returning, followed by a list of chores to do in the main house before he returned. My dad had been a dad, and the job of cleaning up kid poop was the job of a dad, not a granddad. After all, he had to take me back into the attached mother-in-law suite when everything went haywire. He has to be my dad again. Sometimes. I'm getting better. Dad would like Donnie, I think. I hadn't really ever brought a boy around since my fiancé. I tried with Tommy, my abuser. My therapist said I could call him my abuser so I don't excuse him, but that was a disaster. My father offered to buy Tommy, my abuser, a one-way ticket to wherever the fuck he wanted, to never see him again. Checkbook in hand, red in the face, furtively looking for a map or a train schedule or a bus pass or anything. I chuckled. Who uses a checkbook anymore? My dad is the penultimate boomer. I didn't try to introduce anyone else, but Tommy, my abuser, hung around for another year, sneaking in and out like he was smuggling drugs. He was, but that's besides the point. I do miss the company. It's lonely here. My dad doesn't talk to me much. If only I'd not tried so hard to make Tommy want me. Maybe he would have. Was that intrusive or toxic? Hot damn, I don't remember. If this were Tommy, I'd just assume the bag was gone, I said to the empty air as I pulled my head out from under the bed. No bag. I was taking too long. I got to get my bag for my keys and wallet. I'm inconveniencing Donnie. Donnie didn't like the bag. I wouldn't bring it with me, but I needed the stuff inside. My dad didn't like the bag either. My dad would like Donnie. I was sure of it. I heard a car passing on the main road just outside the window. Night 1. That was open. Some idiot was taking up too much of my space and time. Whoever it was, some boyfriend of a friend's sister or something, was nodding off on my couch in an obvious fashion. I told this motherfucker no fent, I thought coldly, looking for my bag and car keys to take the idiot home. Hey, hey! I heard through the open window. A hand came through the blinds suddenly, knocking the small glass bowl of coins off the windowsill and onto the floor. I should have seen them coming. The idiot on the couch roused for a moment, grunted to communicate something in earnest, but was asleep again before I could figure out if I cared enough to Narcan him if he never woke up. 2 fingers split the blinds open, and I saw someone's eyes peering through. Hey, yo, did I break something? Why'd you leave it by the open window? The voice was instantly defensive, and the eyes scrutinized me as I went to clean up the glass behind my bed. Yeah, you did. Who's that? Bingo. Found the bag tucked under the bed against the wall. Defensive location against the drug-addled thievery I call my friends. Hey, it's Donnie! I did not understand at first. The ringing sound of swept glass as I cleaned made it hard to discern. Donnie? Who? What? Sorry, I'm cleaning up a huge mess someone just made. I can't really hear you. I popped up long enough to peer back into his eyes. Did you say Donnie? Yeah, sorry it was so long. I know I said I'd be back the next day, but I forgot how I got here, and then I had all this stuff happen. And I'm sorry, I'm a little busy. Can you come back? Yeah, sure, I'll come back around. I remember. Is the door unlocked? Oh shit, it's wide open. The weather was turning nasty. It was going to freeze and maybe snow tonight. Snow! In Florida. My Yankee roots had called, and I had opened the doors to smell the snow coming, and it was overpowering. I had to get this junkie home before it came down. And fuck, who is this? Donnie? Do I know Donnie? I grabbed the dustpan filled with shards of glass, I'll get the rest of it later, and dumped it into the trash can, making it just too late for the door to shut. In walked Donnie. He was good-looking with a wide smile and big arms. No, I did not know this Donnie, but I'd like to. Hello, I said, channeling seduction and confusion poorly together. Hey man, sorry I never came back. I know I said I'd be back the next day, but I couldn't find the place, he offered hesitantly again. Okay. He held my eyes a moment too long. He knew I was clueless. And I was staying with Sarah. You know Sarah? I crossed my arms and leaned against the wall. I don't associate with women. This is a no girls allowed space. Oh, right, he coughed. He was cute or nervous, like I held all the power here. You told me that. Well, Sarah is, T-Bird's girl. You know, that's his baby mama, right? And well, she knows you. I know T-Bird. T-Bird had been the kind gentleman who brought me the fentanyl junkie on the couch. He's a little more your way than I think he knows, he said. Translation, down low will fuck if high. Just my kind of man. T-Bird was my kind of man, ostensibly straight, good-looking, will fuck for money. a complete slut with more male partners than any gay man I know. T-Bird is practically my best friend. Yeah, he said y'all was tight. Well, you know their electricity got shut off, and with the snow coming, and I was staying with them, I held my composure. Do not offer, I said internally. Make him state his need and ask for it. I did not know. I will be double-checking, however. I looked for my phone across the room. First, stay and protect the door. Well, I was wondering. He told me where you were and all, and I figured I owed you a better night. He delivered his seduction with a heavy load of discomfort and then a guttural growl. I gagged and swallowed. What I'm trying to say is, can I crash here for just tonight? Please? It's cold. I let the tension build. He was visibly shivering in his sweatpants and thin shirt. No jacket. My Grinch heart, grown stone after recent events with Tommy, Tommy, my abuser, softened while I felt blood rush to harden me otherwise. Donnie's eyes were deadlocked on me, and I saw in my reflection myself give in. He did too, and his nervous grin became a self-confident smile. Well, I was interrupted by the coughing, hacking sounds of the fentanyl junkie arousing. Tell you what, help me get this guy to my car and come with me to get him home, and I'll consider it payment for the hospitality. You'll have to be out early because I don't sleep when I have visitors. Noted. I'll be gone at first light, and thank you. He touched my arm with 3 fingers softly. I felt it in my toes, and the junkie moaned again. Donnie looked over my shoulder. Bad trick? T-Bird's trash, I said. I disarmed the gate and moved inside to the couch. Donnie on my heels. Buddy, hey, buddy, let's get you in the car. I pulled on him. To Donnie, I have Narcan, but that'll just piss him off. So this isn't another GHB issue? He reached under the other arm to help me tug. I won't take any this time, but I brought some dope as a thank you. I dropped the junkie back on the couch, where he moaned about his arm hurting. Fuck, Donnie. You drank all that G and would not stop talking about your tattoos. You stripped completely down to your briefs to show me. And then, then I kissed you and fell asleep? He barely breathed. I only remember the kiss. The world stopped. The floor dropped. The room was too big and too small. This goddamn junkie was in my fucking way. I have a better idea. I grabbed a bottle of water from the kitchen, purposefully pushing past Donnie and his arms as he came back. Unscrewing the lid and squeezing, I unloaded 16 ounces of cold water onto the fentanyl junkie's head. The junkie jumped up suddenly, yelling, What the fuck, man? What the fuck? He started nodding again. From behind, Donnie came with 2 more uncapped water bottles and poured water on his head. Time to go home, buddy. It's time for Daddy to play house. I laughed as Donnie, Daddy indeed, took the boy by the arm and led him toward the door. I'll get him to the car. I'm ready. Let me grab my purse. Donnie rolled his eyes. Your fag bag. I giggled. Compromise on man's purse? Maybe. And we were outside in the cold air that smelled like snow. This morning, in a sky that looked like rain. It was late, and I had just made a huge step in healing, I thought. I had deleted Tommy's number and blocked him on social media. So what if he's engaged with a baby on the way? Good for him. So what if he has a baby mama, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and a sugar daddy? And I was here alone on a Saturday night going to the Circle K for a drink because I had no life now? So what? All that matters is that he didn't have me, and I didn't have him. And you won't ever, a voice that sounded just like him chided me in my brain. You wanted it so bad and couldn't get it. Maybe if you weren't such a... Shut up, I said. I am changing my thinking and focusing on the value I bring to my life. I am healing, then in pettiness. And he's going to be a shit father who will probably get the baby taken by the state. I breathed red and blue, centering myself. Nothing. That is his life. He is the master of his destiny, and I am my own. I always wanted the best for him. I hope he gets the best life he can. In red, out blue. I was centering myself and begging the universe to manifest miracles faster. This shit was for the birds. 2 months prior, I turned the corner to Circle K and heard shouting. Some guy was standing outside the Circle K door screaming at the two workers who were holding the door shut. Oh shit, what in gay hell? I pulled out my phone as I approached, turned on the video. I crossed to be close and still appear as casual as possible, so obviously holding the phone up to record. The guy's words were impossible to understand. He screamed in dramatic grunts, grunt, and he would pound on the door. The employees yelled back, their response muffled by glass. More grunting, pound, muffled response. I slowed and kept moving, opting to take a shortcut back and skip the store for now. I stopped the video and checked the playback. I'd need it for evidence? Who am I kidding? I'm totally posting this when I get home, but first a phone call. I hesitated for a moment to take advantage of the long arm of the store's public Wi-Fi. I didn't have service again this month, so I had to call the non-emergency line on one of those apps that gives you a phone number, but no 911 service. What's your emergency? Yes, I'm at the Circle K? We know. Someone's coming. How did you know? Baby, we all know your number when it comes up. Don't worry, someone will be there. The testament of Tommy in my life was that 911 not only knew who I was, they knew my neighborhood enough to guess my emergency. I called 7 times last August. I remember telling my dad that was normal for people and not believing it, but trying to make him believe. Hey, you got a smoke? I jumped. Oh, yeah. I reached into my purse. Cute purse, he said sarcastically. They call those fag bags in the pen. I smiled. He was cute, but a little shorter than I was used to. I pulled out a cigarette and lit my torch. We'll compromise, man purse. Maybe. He held up his own torch. I got my own, but I'll bet you having one means you know where to get some smoke around here. Maybe. What's it to you? He smiled mischievously. I'll make it worth your while, babe. Ugh, I hate that word. Tough shit. A pause. Babe. We were walking slowly. So what was going on back there? You seem pretty upset. Your hand okay? He showed me his hand. Not a scratch. Nah, they were hassling me because I was in there last week with someone who they say stole some candy or shit. You know how these junkies are. I just wanted a bite and they were saying I couldn't come in. Figure I'd skedaddle before the cops showed. He gestured at the phone in my hand. Did you call? I wouldn't hold it against you. I would call on me. They already knew. Someone else beat me to the punch. You're a good citizen, huh? Not always. Hey, just a heads up. We're about to my place. My, landlord lives on site. He's elderly, not great hearing. We just gotta keep it down until we go inside. He can't hear me in my apartment. I turned onto my street. He followed without direction. Wait, what did you say your name was? I'm Donnie. Right on. I put a foot on the step toward my entrance. This is your place? Looks nice. He inhaled and exhaled a puff of smoke. Babe. The puff enveloped me in. This morning, I coughed before I reached the door. Donnie put the bag somewhere. I reached toward the handle. I will ask him without accusing him, and he will know where it is. I manifested this into the universe powerfully enough that I was sure it was true. I am just being stupid. I grabbed the handle firmly. He is not Tommy. Breathe red, breathe blue. He has been a model guest, better than my friends. For the first time in forever, I believed it. I stood taller, stronger, more confident. He folded my underwear. I said it like a primordial scream in my head. I turned the handle and opened the door. Donnie, where? And all I heard was Tommy laughing in my head. Two hours later, the 2 police cars were driving off as my father, my landlord, pulled in. What's going on? He asked, feigning concern but reading exhaustion. I was sitting in the middle of the driveway staring up the street, where I had sat down as the world tried to fling me off into space. I had 2 cell phones in my hand, mine and Donnie's. It had been sitting right here, right in the middle of the driveway, unbroken. He had set it down. My car's been stolen, Dad. He took my fag bag, too. My dad responded, but I couldn't hear him. The laughter hadn't stopped in my head.
Thank you for listening to The Lying Liars That Lied When They Said They Loved You. Thank you also to our collaborative partners, 11 Labs for vocal generation and Suno AI for the music. Comment, subscribe, come back. Everybody here lies, eventually. This podcast has been a production of Barry Floor, the author and producer of The Lying Liars. Stay honest. More lies ahead.